And we are live. This is the news segment, May 14th, 2021, Better on Draft podcast. My name is Ken. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we start the news, want to discuss one thing very, very important to me, near and dear. Um, so there have been new rules and regulations brought to you by the CDC about when to mask and when not to mask. So I am going out on a limb here and tell you that if a place wants you to mask up when you show up, you can either mask up or you can shut the fuck up and leave. Those are your two options. There are
Wow.
no other options. You can either mask up or shut the fuck up. Now, everyone's like, my rights, my life, etc. I don't care. There are times where I walked in. I remember I was at Greektown, and across the street there was a club, and I got invited to go to the club. I had a nice little free pass from one of those free pass giver outer people. They're like, hey, come to the club. And I showed up, and they're like, oh, we can't let you in with those shoes. Well, not much I could do about that, so I left. Like there are very two specific options you can do: is follow the rules or leave. Um, so as we are getting through this together, and we are seeing so many different things like shorts is seeing a lot of flack and feedback. And most of these places, when they're saying, if you're vaxxed, you cannot wear a mask, and if you're not vaxxed, you have to wear a mask, and it's all on the honor system.
Hold on a second. Wait. Video on Facebook is not started.
A video on the Facebook's not started. That's fine. That's fine. The audio is still important.
Tito can hear you for sure, but definitely, there's no video. So continue, Randy.
Yeah, it's just, again, do what the restaurant asks you to do, or don't. Just leave. Like those are your two options. And I'm telling you this, and if you want to write a 1-star review on iTunes because of that, fuck you.
Here they come.
Legit,
Here they come.
legit, bring it on. Go fuck yourself.
I can hear people typing right now.
I think that I got enough 1-star reviews for the year for my own episode, so I don't think there's anything you have to worry about.
I again, two options: stay and follow the rules, or leave. That's every single. But before COVID, those were the two rules of life.
So here's what I really want to talk about is
not wearing shoes.
What's this club in Greektown that has a dress code?
Oh my god! It's literally.
I know where you're talking about.
We're talking about floods.
I don't know. I was at the casino and I was with someone, and they're like, hey, let's go to this club. And it was
level 2.
No, sorry. So I got it right here. It's Exodus Rooftop.
Exodus Rooftop. Okay.
Make sure you got your special shoes on.
So yeah, I just had, and I mean, they were clean sneakers. They weren't like sneakerhead clean sneakers, but they were sneakers nonetheless. And they're just like, you can't come in. I'm like, then I'm not coming in. And I went back to the casino. Like.
and one other thing is that breweries have definitely, they have seen the guidelines, and some of them have definitely stepped up. I will, while a lot of people will say that I'm a homer for Eastern Market Brewing, I'm sorry, I host trivia there. I'm there a lot. That's just what it is. But that they came out with their statement that regardless of the CDC, that you're still, if you want to walk in here and you want to have a beer, you still need to wear a mask. And as a person who is a project manager by day, I am always thinking of worst case scenario at all times through every step. And the only thing I ever think of with this whole announcement is that somebody coming out with fake vaccination cards or just saying that they're vaccinated.
It's already been done.
Yeah, it's already
been done. They nabbed somebody in California, some bar owner in California.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? What do you think the over-under is on the next mutation because of this? I'm thinking about a month and a half before we get something that's breaking through vaccines because of the COVIDiots.
I mean, yes, I don't. I'm the furthest thing from an epidemiologist. I am legit a dude that runs a beer podcast, and the only thing I can think of about so I'll let you go, Wendy, in a second, is that I think I got the Moderna shot, and I'm pretty sure it's just made of like hops and barley because I had no side effects from shot number 2. So I'm just like, I probably have a shit ton of that in my system. But Wendy, what were you saying?
So I think what's funny about this whole new mask unmasking thing that's going on right now is that the people who are most excited about it are the people who don't have their vaccines.
Yeah.
Like, I have mine and I still want to wear my mask. So
Message.
that's what I think is funniest
I
about it.
I enjoyed
Those
not
Okay,
people
getting.
are-
Keenan.
I enjoyed not getting a cold or a flu this year. Um, so yeah, but
I ended up
Well,
with pneumonia and I did catch a cold, but 2 as opposed to 20 in a year makes me really happy. So I don't know
yeah.
that I'll ever go back to not masking completely. Like, I won't mask everywhere, but there are certain things that I'll do that I might bring my mask along just in case.
all right. I had no problems taking the full brunt of the backlash for this, but I wanted to make sure because again, we are a pro brewery, pro restaurant industry um, program. And
Yeah.
the problem is that along with the issues that come with the masking and the requests come you pitching a fit to some 22-year-old person whose job is just to tell you please mask up and being polite about it and you're being a dick to them.
Make it $3 an hour plus tips, and you know that those people aren't tipping 20%. That's
I mean, don't get me started on tips, Nick.
I know, we know. We've had a couple of conversations about that on the show over the course of the life of this show, but those are the kinds of people that are going to be complaining about this, and then that's it. I'll stop.
I believe in the great philosophical words of George Clinton. It's party over here, fuck you over there. So, with that, let us get into news.
Here
if
comes
you're ready.
here comes the segment noise or music.
Here is Robert with the beer news.
All right, hold on, time out. I want this every single time that I play the Here is the Robert is I want you to chug the beer that you have so that I can literally start making like a video of every single time you chugging the beer. You know what? That's you suckered yourself into it. Before we get into the news, I want to know what everyone's drinking. Rob, I'll let you pour whatever new beer you've got. I've got Space Shark. If you guys can see, this is a India Pale Ale.
What is wrong with you?
Who are you?
I liked it, so I'm drinking it again.
IPA and light coming out of the same.
I mean, I didn't say it was amazing. I just said I
by
liked
Ken.
it.
That's shocking.
Dan, what's in your little rocks glass?
Still got the vodka soda going on.
All right, Wendy.
In my nod to kick-ass women in beer, I am drinking a New Belgium Dominga Mimosa Sour in honor of Kim Jordan and the amazing things that she did with New Belgium. That's kind of an interview whale there, right there. I just want to point that out.
Nicholas.
I am still drinking my Rising Hope from Parrish, and I am still drinking my Old Faithful Ale from Grand Teton.
And Rob, what do you got?
Cracking open since I got to crack something open. Just the Ruffles Reserve single barrel whiskey, the Black is Beautiful edition, which I might, if time allows, and going into the King of the Hill segment, I do have a 2021 Arcane Rituals from Bottle Logic, which I may crack open.
Rob, talk to us about the news. What's happened these past 2 weeks?
All right. So, kind of talking about one of the things that, Dan used to show up in the studio with in a way, that Iron Maiden has introduced a new collaboration for a beer. This time with Brewdog, as Eddie the mascot sets to release Hellcat. It's a 6% ABV India Pale Lager. So basically, we already know that Bruce Dickinson and the crew had previously collaborated with Robinson's Brewery in Stockport to release Trooper, which definitely is a Dan favorite without a doubt. And actually for me too, I didn't mind that stuff at all. It was pretty some really good stuff because it sold like crazy with like something like 25 million pints sold since 2013. But one thing I was kind of curious of with you guys is that, we've seen quite a few different banned beer collabs with bands like Rancid, Run the Jewels, which that Run of Jewels save point is some good stuff from City Built. Metallica and Megadeth, which is always giving you 99 Ways to Die. But I was curious if is there a band or artist that could create a beer that you would go far and wide to get, whether it's to collect or to drink? I'm going to start with Dan on that one.
Not really. I don't think the band necessarily reflects the kind of beer that they're going to put out. I mean, the music can be good and their beer can be shitty. Look at the Deftones. They put out a number of beers and their music's good, their beer not so much.
They put out one called White Pony.
They've put out a lot. They've been making a lot of beers for a long time. I just don't see the need to run to that. I'd probably do it more for like a whiskey or a bourbon, like Metallica's put out, like Anthrax put out. I think that'd be more of a go-to over a beer that someone's, as far as a band goes, is doing.
I think throwing your name on a whiskey label is a lot easier because you can do it like in bond and stuff, and not necessarily have not a bad beer, but just a bad opportunity. Like you can make a Iron Maiden whiskey in bond from like Heaven Hill or something like that, to where it's just that's the whiskey and here it is. So and tack on an extra $10 a bottle just because it's got the name Iron Maiden on it. I'll cut in real quick. I would definitely, if there was a band, for me to like seek out something that they had, if Billy Talent, I think, did something like that, I'd probably go after it just because I'm a huge Billy Talent fan. And in the same sense, I do have a great band that could be turned into a great band beer name, and that's Newfound Goza, as opposed to Newfound Glory. So I would buy that if there was a beer called Newfound Goza.
I kind of feel like for myself, I guess the band to beer sort of dream has already happened with Run the Jewels. I am a huge Run the Jewels fan, and I love their stuff. Outside of that, I would probably say, for me, like right now, for the past 20 years, favorite band of all time. I know it sounds a little mainstream, but for me, it's Foo Fighters. And if Foo Fighters came out with some sort of collaboration, I would just on name alone, I would probably be all about it. Wendy, you got one?
Roach. They're my favorite band to see live. Like they have an
wait. Is that your last resort?
It might be. No. They just have an amazing presence on stage, so I love to see them live. So if they put a beer out, I would buy it, if only to collect the cans so that I have it. There was someone else that I was gonna say too. Shoot, who was it? Oh, and also Korn, only because I broke my arm at a Korn concert. So I feel like I would need to buy it for the people that were there at the concert with me.
Well, you have that, like, hey, remember that concert I broke my arm? Here's a beer they made, and it's like a conversation.
Remind me of it on a regular basis, anyways.
I've been doing my best to fight back with a bunch of Papa Roach puns because I was a huge fan of Papa Roach growing up. So
of course you were, Ken.
They're amazing. They're still amazing on stage, man. I've never been to a show where they weren't just excited to be there. I love it.
I saw their I think it was Vice did a like a behind the song, and it told the story of Last Resort and how Last Resort got created. There's for those of you who've never listened, I don't think you need to be a Papa Roach fan to really get it. There's been a handful of them. I think 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton is on there. Shaggy's It Wasn't Me. Where you learn that like half the profits of that song had to go to Ricky Martin because not It Wasn't Me, not Shaggy's It Wasn't Me, Cisco's Thong Song. That was another.
It was Thong Song. Yeah, it was Thong Song.
Cisco's Thong Song, half the like funds had to go to Ricky Martin's writer because because he's living La Vida Loca. That like a second and a half cost them half their money. The Shaggy one was about Napster, because a shit ton of people were downloading that song illegally and playing it on the radio, and everyone wanted to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
What about
Nick.
Yeah,
What do you
Nick.
Wow. Favorite bands that I'd like to see in concert?
No, you
Or
want
no,
a
no, no.
beer.
But that would make a beer.
Doesn't have to be a concert. It can just be a
No,
beer.
no. Well, just in general.
Just don't say Jimmy Buffett.
No. Oh God, no. Hell no. No, absolutely not. Um, kind of cliche, but Flogging Molly. If they can somehow take a Guinness to the next level somehow, or make a beer of that style, make it better, I would be all about that. But then again, they're drinking Guinness on stage anyway, so
Right.
yeah. But I don't know. Maybe that.
You
I
know,
don't know.
for a band that's had a handful of songs that involve alcohol, I'm surprised that they have never created some form of beer or alcohol.
Good point. I mean, I'm not aware of one, but that's a good
Oh,
point.
I mean, I've never been a fan of Flogging Molly, but I know a handful of their songs and all of them involve alcohol in it. So I'm just like,
And I will say with Wendy for mentioning corn that a couple weeks ago I went grocery shopping with my daughter Shyler, and Freak on the Leash came on the radio, and she was all about it, which was like very surprising for me. So I was like, I noticed like one of their bigger kind of more mainstream songs, but I was just like, wow, she's getting into this. So
It's under one of my mixtapes.
yeah,
I mean, new metal was huge. Like as much as
yes,
Dan likes to shit on it, new metal was a huge part
I
of.
sure do, but keep in mind Slipknot's considered new metal, so it's not all
yeah,
bad.
that's true.
I had Dan. Can you help me real quick? Because
Yeah.
somebody I was at the Stony Creek liquor store today, and somebody called somebody a maggot, because they were wearing a Slipknot shirt. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, no, that does. I think Maggot Corp was a thing when they first came out. I think, but yeah,
I
no, that makes
I
sense.
I
something
don't
like
know. I got really confused about being like aside to the conversation. And he was talking about how he was listening to the band of the guy's shirt, um, in his car, and I saw the shirt that said Slipknot. I'm like, all right, whatever.
that. Yeah. All right, going into another one here. I guess if you like Sonic, then at least, or at least their slushes, then you're gonna kind of love this. Recently, Sonic has partnered with Coop Ale Works in Oklahoma City to create and sell hard seltzers to mimic the flavors of the slushes offered by the roller skating fast food joint. Options will include a 12 pack boxes that will contain selection of 8 different flavors, which includes cherry limeade, original limeade, classic lemonade, lemon berry, ocean water, mango guava, orange, pineapple, and melon melody. Now the seltzers will contain 5% ABV, 2 grams of sugar, and 160 calories per can. Now, finding these right now is probably going to be a little tricky as they're set to hit shelves in Oklahoma, which is where Coop and Sonic are both based, starting on Tuesday, May the 18th. Shout out to Grandma Ursil. That is her birthday. She will be 91. So happy birthday, Grandma. Um, for those outside of Oklahoma, the Okie Doke, Co-op does distribute to Texas, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Arkansas. And while there may be some who are listening who do not live in those states, I guess there might still be some hope as those cans are going to be hitting national stores like Costco, Target, and Walmart and Whole Foods in those areas. So it may be possible that they may come up here in Michigan. They may reach out nationwide. I guess we will see where they would go. I was actually curious with all of you because I know where with Ken, Wendy, and Nick that there is at least a Sonic somewhere within 15 miles. Dan, I know being in the Phoenix area, there is a Sonic over there because flying out to Phoenix was the first time I've ever actually had Sonic. So I know you have a Sonic out there. So I'm just kind of curious if any of you have had the slushes from Sonic, if there's a favorite. And also, is there another fast food joint that you think could take a popular drink of theirs and turn it into a seltzer? I think I'm gonna start with Nick on this one.
I will admit I have never had the slushes at Sonic before.
Shame.
I know.
Shame.
But I will say that there is something when you have a soft drink, I don't know. There is something about the crushed ice that makes it 10 times better. Yeah. And I think when you do that, you can probably make a drink even taste even better. It's the crushed ice thing. So wait, what was the question again? Another restaurant?
Another restaurant that has a popular drink that you'd want to see turn into a seltzer. Which
turn into a seltzer?
Oh. Obviously, considering and for those who are not in Michigan, though have frequented Taco Bell and Taco Bell has had the Baja Blast, we have a Baja Blast seltzer.
Yeah.
Thanks to Blackgrass. So
cider, not seltzer.
Cider, true. It's cider.
Make it a seltzer, and then we're good then.
Okay.
Honestly, when that Baja Blast came out, this is back when I was living in Harper Woods, and the closest Taco Bell was in St. Clair Shores, like on the southern edge of St. Clair Shores. I would leave my house at midnight to go get Taco Bell and just to go get a Baja Blast. That's how damn good it was. At midnight. My parents are like, Nick, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to Taco Bell. What for? I'm going to go get some Baja Blast. And they're like, whatever.
Dan, anything?
Yeah, so are these going to come with nerds in them like the 12-year-olds like to get in the slushes so everyone can choke on them while they're drinking them?
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah, you can add nerds to your
That is a thing. It is legitimately on the menu. If you go to Sonic, it is on the menu.
Yeah, you can add nerds to your drink, and
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Minus any time I may have been too drunk to remember. The only thing I've ever had at Sonic is the tots.
Tots are good.
Not even drinks. Good. Tots. That's it. Just tots.
Tots are good. Tots are good.
I'll tell you what, this wouldn't make a good seltzer, maybe a stout, but if McDonald's could turn that Shamrock Shake into something, they'd probably be like trillionaires if they did it.
The seltzer machine is offline.
Yeah.
Lord. Wendy, you're pretty close to a Sonic.
I am. And actually, I have a slush fund at work where all my change goes in because we are close enough that we could send people to get a slush during happy hour, so it was half off. So we used to do slushes pretty much every day. I was trying to look it up to see what my favorite flavor was because they don't have it anymore, which has actually made me stop going to get slushes because they went to a lot more basic flavors. I think it was like Tahiti something. It was like a coconut dark red color, but I loved it. And if they could make a drink out of that, then I would probably be all over it. But I don't know about the new one, the normal flavors they have now.
Gotcha. All right.
I think the only person left might be me, and that's I wouldn't mind like a Dr. Pepper seltzer. Something that's got a little spice to it that isn't necessarily like crushable, because my problem is that I've got a keg of Pog from Oddside in my garage, and I drink like 64 ounces at a time from this little like personal crowler, and that's my problem is that I do that. So I need something to slow me down if I want a seltzer. But as Rob has needed to step away for a minute, we have I've got all the articles in front of me. Sorry. Where are we looking? There we go. All right. So this week's American Craft Beer Week, guys. While you're listening to this live, it is next week. The week that it is released is obviously not American Craft Beer Week. We always talked about our favorites on this show, but since we're a little bit focused in Michigan, I want to know kind of what is maybe a beer or brewery in the last year that you found out that you'd want to give a little shout out to everyone. Maybe it's a beer you've had at a bar or a brewery you went to had a great experience. Um, I kind of want to get the opportunity to maybe talk about some of the lesser knowns, and this includes you, Dan, over in Arizona,
Sure.
because I know you go to a handful of bars. You're definitely out there testing the waters of the Phoenix beer scene and the Arizona beer scene. But starting with Wendy, because I know Wendy as she leaves, so we're gonna start with me here. Because I want to talk about a sneaky good favorite. I had I'm gonna give two mentions real quick. The opportunity a couple weeks ago to go to the Jackson Winter Beer Festival. Now the social distancing was but I think that's more because it was gorgeous outside and everyone wanted to be outside. So I think if the outside weather was terrible, everyone would have been inside and could have distanced and everything was fine. Um, but I went with our editor in chief Ed. We had a great time. And Meckley's, which is a farm, kind of in the southern part of Middle Michigan. An amazing place to go. Amazing beer, amazing cider. I did not have a bad drink. I went to them last year on a small little brewery tour, and I believe it's in Cement City. And honest to God, you gotta go. Be careful in the fall, just because it is a full-on farm, and therefore you're gonna deal with farm traffic when you go to like an apple orchard farm in the fall in Michigan. Terrible idea, but now, I want to bring you guys in because I believe the three of you all had the opportunity a handful of years ago, 2018 or 2017. We had the opportunity to drink 127 Brewing at a fall beer fest. And we loved it as a conglomerate so much that we had two or three of their beers as the winners of the fall beer fest of beers that we loved. And this place had such amazing beer. The pours were solid. The flights were fairly priced. This was a perfect thing for you to have. So Meckley's in Cement City, 127 in Jackson. Those are the two places that I want you to try to go here in 2021. Um, we're gonna pass it to Wendy, and then we'll cut it in the middle with Dan, so that it goes like Michigan, Michigan, Arizona. But Wendy, what's a brewery or a beer in 2020 that you were able to taste or test that you want people to go see this year?
By saying in 2020. Um, so I want people to go and try Railtown. We have on multiple occasions. Um, I have tried their beer and loved it. There was one beer festival that there was a stout, or I want to say it was a stout, that the divas were all in a Twitter over on the Facebook group. Um, I just think they're amazing. It's a female brewer. I love it. Molly, shout out. She was on our brewing while female, drinking while female show. I can't wait to go there. I've never actually been to the brewery. I've only had them at um, beer festivals. The other one that I want to say didn't get to have in 2020 because we didn't get to travel anywhere was Deviate Brewing in Indianapolis. They have some of the most amazing beers I've ever tried. I absolutely love them. It's just a small place, fantastic beers. I would definitely say if you're in that area, go there.
Awesome. Yeah, Railtown's over just south of Grand Rapids in Caledonia. So it's an opportunity for you to kind of hit it in the way into Grand Rapids or on the way out of Grand Rapids, if you're looking to do a brewery tour itself. Dan, bring us
Yeah,
up to date
so
in Arizona. What's good out there?
I'll tell you, this actually isn't in Arizona. The one I want to shout out is Highland Park Brewery out in Chinatown in LA. Um, Really off the radar kind of brewery, but some of the best beer I've ever had out in this side of the country, including a couple GABF medal winners that they have on tap there. Their barrel aging, as far as their stouts go, are some of the best outside of a Bottle Logic that I've come across out this way. So it's definitely worth checking out.
All right, Nick. What about you? I mean, you got a handful of nice little beer bars over there. Have you been able to get out there? What's a brewery or a beer that you kind of want to give a shout out to?
Unfortunately, I haven't really left the house because all that much in the last year plus between moving and having a kid. So really haven't, unfortunately, really haven't had the opportunity to go anywhere. Um, I will say, if you haven't really traveled and you're looking for that good hole in the wall, I'll do two things. I'll do one that's up and coming that we actually had on the show, Arctic Circle. We had a couple of their beers a couple months ago, and I was blown away by what they had put out. So when I'm not sure if they're open yet, but I know they're getting right around the corner if they haven't. So I would encourage people that if you're looking for something on the east side, which there isn't a lot on the east side, especially this far north where Rob doesn't travel, I would go there.
Hey,
you don't go north. You don't go north of 696. Leave it alone.
No.
What?
No.
12? What?
It's M59.
Oh, M59.
Right.
Okay.
Everything above M59 is up north to me.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the clarification. The second thing I will say, my wife and I have gone up there twice, and it's a little. You would never even know it's a brewery until you actually went inside, and it's toasted marshmallow. The site
Burnt
or
marshmallow.
burnt marshmallow. Yeah, but they have a toasted marshmallow beer. Burnt marshmallow. Thank you, Ken. You would never know it's a brewery unless you step foot inside, and they don't just have beer, they have wine. You talk about farm. Well, there's a cow right next door that was coming over, hanging out with the bachelorette party. That was, what's that?
They have pigs.
And pigs, yes. So they got farm animals there near the brewery, and it is on a nice like today. If you went up there, if they're assuming that they're open today, would have been a wonderful day to drink outside. Up that way.
We even brought our dog.
Yeah, we even brought our dog the last time we were up there. So,
And the owners are amazing.
Yep, and the owners are
So
amazing.
friendly.
Yep. So I would encourage that if you haven't gone up that way, I would highly recommend and encourage going there.
Yep, just south of Petoskey.
South of
Robert.
Petoskey.
I'm gonna stick with my Detroit players on this one. Pretty much, if you haven't been to already, and I know it's a little tricky to get to sometimes because it kind of looks like it's on this industrial street, but I'm gonna go with my man Dave Seacott and Brew Detroit, and definitely go and check them out and check out their beers and seltzers and everything else that he's got going on over there. And pretty much, if you know where Batch is, we're Batch Brewing and Steven Rogenson and the amazing stuff and his beer and his food that's going on. Brew Detroit is the next street over, so you can't miss that. If you're going to go to one, go to the other. And other than that, I would definitely say give some love to Brewery Faison over in the Island View neighborhood in Detroit, and check out their stuff. They actually just released a Belgian style strong ale that I'm really interested in. Hopefully I can get a hold of. Yeah, Brewery Faison has been doing some pretty good things, and they're like, if you seek them out, you'll find them, and you'll find that they're kind of in a not so brewery friendly area, I guess you can call it, because there's not much going on over there, but they've got some good brews that are going on over there, and I really want to give them a shout out and get some people out there to go check both Brewery Faison and Brew Detroit. Check them both out.
That's going to do it for the news segment here at Better on Draft. If you are listening live, stay tuned for King of the Hill, which we will start at 8:43. So those of you who need to go use the restroom, go for it. But that's going to do it. Better on Draft the news, May 14th, 2021. We'll see you next week. And no matter what you think of your beer, we think it's Better on Draft. Have a good night.
Peace.